Today I'll share 3 reasons why low-carb diets can work well for weight loss that have nothing to do with the lack of carbs. Not all low-carb diets have these 3 things in common, which is likely one of the main reasons not all low-carb diets work well for weight loss. Plus, this basically means that we may be able to take advantage of some of the main reasons low-carb diets work without having to cut out all carbs from our diet. So let's take a look at these 3 factors. Hi, I'm Ingunn, a Norwegian Viking, bringing you no BS science-based weight loss tips. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for lots more tips and click that bell button. So, what are these 3 reasons low carb can work well for weight loss that has nothing to do with the lack of carbs? Number 1, low carb diets are often high in protein. When you reduce the proportion of one macronutrient from your diet, you'll automatically increase one or both of the other macronutrients proportionately. And oftentimes with low carb it ends up being quite high in protein. Now, why is that important? Well, protein has some magical powers when it comes to weight loss. For example, just off the bat, the body burns more energy digesting protein than it does for carbs and fat. That's what we call the thermic effect of food. And protein is not a preferred source of energy for the body either. It's not super easy for the body to convert protein into useful energy, so it may be less likely to end up as stored body fat. Actually, some of the protein, if you have extra, may even get eliminated when you pee. So in a way, you could say that not all of the calories from protein counts. On top of this, protein is satiating. So if you have a high protein diet, you may naturally end up eating less. And it helps maintain muscle mass. And I know what you may be thinking, maybe you don't have big muscles, maybe you don't go to the gym that often or not at all. Though that doesn't mean you won't benefit from more protein. I mean, no matter if you exercise or not, and no matter if you can see them or not, you do have muscles. And you're going to want to keep whatever muscles you have around because muscles burn fat even while resting. Even if you just spend your days chilling on the beach, your muscles will be burning fat. So you're going to want to keep them, which is actually one of the reasons I do not recommend doing lots of cardio. More on that though in another video. Okay, so that's a lot of great things about getting enough protein. Just note that it really does matter where that protein comes from. Now, before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and also make sure you're subscribed to my channel and click that bell button. And you may find lots more tips on my Instagram profile at Viking Ingunn. And just to mention, I do have a step-by-step weight loss program called Slim by Science for women who want to lose 20 to 50 plus pounds in as little as 90 days naturally using science-based methods and real food. You may find more information about this program at slimbyscience.com. I'll link to it below this video. Okay, so let's get back to the 3 reasons low carb can work well for weight loss that have nothing to do with the lack of carbs. So high protein was the first one. The second one is that they may be lower in pure energy. Here's the thing, if you remove a lot of carb sources from your diet, you may naturally end up removing some of the main sources of fat as well. Just think of fries, chips, donuts, cookies, brownies. This is of course going to help with weight loss because if you're eating less pure energy, you're likely eating fewer calories overall. Well, actually that's not universally true because eating fewer calories is not always the best thing for weight loss. If you're not sure what I mean by that, make sure you've watched my previous video on how 2 diets containing the same number of calories can lead to a very different effect on your weight. This stuff is super fascinating. In this context, however, if you're removing foods like brownies, chips, cookies, fries, donuts from your diet because you're limiting carbs, I don't think there's any doubt that it will have a positive effect. And that brings us to reason number 3 why low carb diets can work well for weight loss that has nothing to do with the lack of carbs, which is that vegetable oil and other foods that may negatively affect your metabolism may have been removed. Similarly to what I just mentioned, when removing carb sources from your diet, you may also naturally end up removing some of the worst offenders when it comes to wrecking your metabolism. Vegetable oil is everywhere, though it's more likely to be found in high amounts in fatty foods, especially fried foods like chips and fries, which you probably wouldn't be eating if you're limiting carbs. Though of course you don't need to be limiting carbs in order to avoid these foods. There's so much to be said about vegetable oil. It accumulates in your body fat. It can easily oxidize and cause oxidative damage almost anywhere in your body, because fat is something you find everywhere in your body, including in the membranes of your mitochondria, which is where your body converts part of the food you eat into useful energy, which is obviously very much related to your metabolism. I don't want to get too technical here, though just note that the type of fat you eat is very, very important. Now, let's get back to what this video is all about, which is that not all low-carb diets work well for weight loss. And for the ones that do, it may have more to do with what we discussed in this video rather than the lack of carbs. I'm not saying that limiting carbs can't be useful, though I am saying that it's not necessary to completely remove carbs in order to lose weight. And it may even be more important to consider the other factors that we talked about today. It all boils down to how important it is to consider the diet as a whole and not just one specific nutrient to limit, like carbs or fat. What you do eat is just as important as what you limit or avoid. Which foods do you focus on? Where do you get your carbs, fat, and protein from? And what do you pair them with? These are extremely important factors if you want to lose weight naturally and effectively. Because, as always, keep in mind that two diets containing the same number of calories can have a very different effect on your weight. So you're going to want to consider your diet as a whole and not just limit yourself to one single strategy like low carb. Actually, that's why I made sure to include several science-based weight loss strategies in my 90-day Slim by Science weight loss program. And of course, put just as much focus on the foods you do eat. And because of the choice of foods, it allows women to eat to satiety and still lose weight naturally, while fueling their bodies. I mean, we're not talking about eating salads and drinking green juice every day. We're talking about real food. If you'd like to know more about this program, which by the way also includes unlimited one-on-one support from me personally, then head over to slimbyscience.com or just click the link below this video. I only work with a few women at a time, so there are limited spots available. If you have any questions, send me an email or send me a DM on Instagram. I'll put the details below this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video and show it by giving it a thumbs up. Hope you have a great week and I'll see you in the next video.